The Champions League theme is ringing around the San Siro. The choreography last week in this stadium was epic. Huge tifos all around the ground, one behind the goal red. Hell is empty and all the devils are here. Well, it was Inter who were in heaven by the end of the night. And this evening is no different, just a completely different colour. Same stadium, huge tifos all over the stadium, but most of them are blue, white and black. The Champions League is back in the San Siro with Inter massive favourites. That devil is back at the other end this week, and they hope that there is a comeback, a devilish comeback from Stefano Pioli's team. The two managers embrace and they are ready for action. Can Milan construct a comeback worthy of a Hollywood movie script? Blockbuster back from the dead performances have come from Tottenham, Liverpool, Roma, Barcelona and Manchester United in recent seasons. It has become a bit of a trend. Even Real Madrid against Manchester City last year probably fits into that category as well in the semi-final. And if Milan sparkle in a show like that tonight, then they will deserve a star on the Walk of Fame. 2-0 down, the Empire need to strike back. But Inter's story arc is a good one too. Coached by Simone Inzaghi, the brother of the famous Milan Champions League winner. Never as successful as his brother with his boots on, but maybe about to join an exclusive club as the manager. Inter have named the same team as that beat Milan 2-0 a week ago. Onana is their goalkeeper. Italian back three of Darmian, Acerbi and Bastoni. Dumfries is the right wing back, Di Marco the left wing back. In midfield, Barella, Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan. Up top, it's Martinez and Dzeko. Milan in red and black striped jerseys, black shorts. They've got Maignan in goal. It's Calabria, Thiaw, Tomori and Hernandez at the back four. Krunic and Tonali in midfield, with Diaz playing in the 10 position. Junior Messias and Rafael Leao come into the team on the wings, and Giroud is up top. Our referee is from France, his name is Clement Turpin. Our VAR is Jérôme Brissard. Tomorrow night we will focus on the Champions League on Talksport, with Manchester City looking to finish the job against Real Madrid. Thursday night you're definitely going to need that Talksport app. Download it, because we've got the playoffs, the Europa Conference League and Newcastle against Brighton from the Premier League on the network. All the football, all the time, Talksport and Talksport 2. Inter getting us off and underway, shooting from left to right in the first half. In black and blue striped jerseys with black shorts and black socks. Milan in their black and red with white shorts tonight and white socks, attacking the goal away to our left-hand side. How important, Danny Mills, is it for Milan to get an early goal?
Not necessarily an early goal. They cannot afford to concede. They cannot do what they did last week. If Inter get the first goal, game over. You know, then it'll be a procession, you know, to the end of this game.
Pushing back of Theo Hernandez by one of the goal scorers from last week, Edin Dzeko, as the ball is pumped into the Milan penalty area, and a free kick given by Clement Turpin early on.
AC Milan have to stay in the game. You know, that's the most important thing. They can get to 60 minutes, they get to 70 minutes. If it's still 0-0, if you get a goal at 75 minutes, 15 minutes to go, can you nick one in the last 15? Without a doubt you can, you know, when momentum starts to go your way. So stay in the game. If you said to AC Milan now, extra time, they snap both your arms off. You know, simple as that.
Çalhanoğlu has just been fouled on the edge of the centre circle. The referee did well to play the advantage there, because he looks as if he was going to scoot past Rabi Krunic, didn't quite get there, and the referee pulled it back and gave the free kick to Inter, who were not applying that aggressive press that they applied in the first few minutes of the game last week. They don't need to. Dumfries is coming down the right hand side though. Theo Hernandez is sticking with him. Theo Hernandez goes down very cheaply. He just seemed to run past Denzel Dumfries and then just fling his body to the floor in the left full-back position. There seemed to be very minimal contact between the two, and it was the cheapest of cheap free kicks.
Yeah, Dumfries is a little bit naive. The moment you put your arm in somebody's back, it gives them the option to go over. And then once, if the referee sees the arm and sees contact, although in my opinion there's not enough contact to go down, once he goes down, what does the referee do? Because technically it's a foul, isn't it? And it's very subjective to say, well, there wasn't enough of a push to go down. I think you're always going to get that. Yeah, it was soft, wasn't it? Oh, very, very soft, but every referee in that situation would have given the same foul.
Boys on the halfway line. It is 0-0 on the night, 2-0 to Inter. We'll play 2 minutes and 20 seconds on Talksport. Milan came into the original game 9 unbeaten, but they were stuttering after that. And defeat to Inter. They lost the relegation threat to Spezia at the weekend. Inter continued their best form of the season with a thumping win over Sassuolo. So Milan have to tear up the odds, history and the form book to progress. Ball into the box towards the far post, headed down towards Dzeko, shoots towards the near post, saved by Manuel, but there was a foul given against Barella at the far post, who went up and headed the ball across the face of goal. And Milan once again looking a little bit defensively vulnerable.
Yeah, I think it was a foul, but the goalkeeper wasn't to know that. Dzeko hit a fantastic volley, absolutely stunning technique, and the goalkeeper was equal to it. But again, already they do look suspect defensively.
Well, that wasn't a foul either.
Not from that. Again, you go back, and it's difficult for the referee. Any touch in the back, there's going to be slightly an issue. The referee's always likely to give it, and players know that.
Playing out for the back for Milan, who was forced to go long last week because of the press, and they've done that again. Manuel tries to get it up long to Giroud. It's headed away by Bastoni. Collected far side by DeMarco. Couldn't get it under control. It goes out of play and away for a throw in to Milan for the first time inside opposition territory. There's a foul on him by Çalhanoğlu over on the far side. Brahim Diaz gets back to his feet. Free kick given 2 yards in from the right touchline, about 10 yards inside into territory.
What I see Milan have got to do is just give absolutely everything. Work as hard as they possibly can. Fight and scrap for every single ball. Use set pieces, win headers, second balls, no matter what. If they do that, their fans will accept that.
4 and a bit minutes gone. You're listening to Talksport. Inter nil, Milan nil. Here is Theo Hernandez, who strikes it from 40 yards out and drives the ball down the middle of the pitch. Onana was rooted to the spot. It went over the top of the crossbar. He is a threat from range. He scored a belter of a goal the other week against Lazio. That one was just narrowly over the top, but a signal of intent from Theo Hernandez.
I thought, what's he doing? As he picked that up, he struck it incredibly well. There's an awful lot of swerve on the ball, and I think the goalkeeper might have not got to it. It looked like it swerved an awful lot. I don't know whether he was unsighted, but he was absolutely rooted, wasn't he?
He certainly didn't expect it to come in his direction. It did, and Theo Hernandez, just a shot across the bows of the Inter back line. And a word for Andre Onana, the goalkeeper who's been linked so heavily with a move to the Premier League at both Manchester United and Chelsea in the summer. It's his 42nd appearance of the season. Samir Handanovic also plays in some of the league games. In fact, Handanovic played at the weekend, but Onana is certainly the number one goalkeeper. He is the man who's made the most saves in the Champions League this season. Inter nil, Milan nil. You're listening to Talksport. The ball with Fikayo Tomori deep inside his own half, wearing AC Milan Rossoneri. Calabria up to halfway, plays it square. Tomori's got it back again, moves up towards the halfway line. Theo Hernandez with his shock of pink hair is giving it to Rafael Leao. Leao looks a bit cumbersome and slow, then dragged Dumfries to the floor. Didn't look set there at all, did he? The man who was injured last week.
Yeah, can't be a prima donna. Can't expect players just to stand off and let you have the ball. Dumfries knows he's a threat. He's going to get his first touch immediately. He's got to be better than that. He's got to be stronger. Got to hold the ball up better.
Rafael Leao, who's been the creative hub, just signed a new 5-year contract at Milan, which is music to the ears of those who support the club. His first appearance since being injured against Lazio after just 10 minutes.
Just puts his feet up if he wants to sell him. That's all that is.
Onana.
Yes, I'm cynical, Sam.
You are the most cynical person I've ever met.
No, I'm not. I'm just honest.
Here's Dzeko forward towards Barella, who's trying to squeeze through a tight gap. Theo Hernandez and Tomori managed to close that, and Theo Hernandez gets it back towards his goalkeeper Manuel, and it's cleared up towards the halfway line, headed by Giroud, but won by Çalhanoğlu. Here is Mkhitaryan coming forward. There's big space for Barella to turn and shoot on the edge of the penalty area, but actually there was an opportunity there, Danny, instead of him shooting over the top of the crossbar from 20 yards out, to drive further into the box, because once again that defence had parted.
Yeah, gap there. AC Milan you would say controlling the game a little bit at the moment. You know, they've got sort of most of the possession. Inter are quite happy to sit back, but in transition, when they turn the ball over, AC Milan is still over the place. Like you said there, huge gap in the centre of defence. They've got to sort that out. You can't. Inter have had, I know there's been a couple of fouls in there, but 3 good chances already.
Diaz scampering forward over on the right-hand side. It's played in towards the edge of the box, and it's picked up now on the left side by DiMarco for Inter. He looks to bring it up towards halfway. Plays it against the Milan body in front of him, who was Radi Krunic, whose participation in this game has been questioned because of that hit out at Bastoni. It wasn't really a punch of any real note, but it was a little jab in the ribs of Bastoni.
Not even you'd have gone down, Sam, to be fair. I think you'd have took a standing count.
I'm stubborn, man.
You're still a bit soft, though.
Cheers, mate. Depends who was applying the punch, doesn't it?
Well, it's honest.
You know. 9 minutes gone, Inter 0, Milan 0. We noted it at the time on Talksport last week when we were commentating on the game. Get picked up by the VAR. Different officials tonight. Brahim Diaz, who still belongs to Real Madrid, scoops forward and then tries to trick his way through a tightly congested Inter backline. It's picked up by Messias down the right for Tonali, gets to the byline, produces a cross into the box. It's behind everyone. Teo Hernandez tries to bring it down. Leao tries to scoop it forward. Dzeko nudges it out towards the near side, helping out his defence. Leo recycles it and comes back via Tomori through the centre. They're on the front foot now, AC Milan. 8 and a bit minutes gone, nearly 9. 2-0 on aggregate to Inter. 0-0 on the night. No away goals in the Champions League. There hasn't been for quite some time.
Which is better, isn't it? Yeah. Makes it a better contest. We all know where we stand now.
Makes it less defensive, that's for sure. So if the team nicks a goal away from home in the first leg, they can quite happy play out a 0-0 draw at home. The ball is played to Tonali, edge of the area, scooped out towards the far side. DiMarco heads it away, but only as far as Krunic. He's operating 15 yards from the edge of the penalty area that Milan are attacking. They're coming forward with Messias over on the far side, a left-footed cross deep towards the far post. Giroud is up there, he gets there ahead of Magnon, and it's cleared from inside the 6-yard box by the retreating Matteo Darmian. And it goes over the top and out for the first corner of the game.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. I think it's a weird one. It's almost seems to miss-hit that cross. Goes right to the far post.
What was Onana doing?
Oh, he's absolutely flattened it. Nowhere near it. Giroud gets a good header. Unfortunately, doesn't fall to an AC player.
Inter 0, Milan 0. On the night, 2-0 to Inter on aggregate. Clement Turpin has just spotted an infringement involving Junior Messias and Denzel Dumfries. Barella involved. Bastoni says nothing to do with Mika.
I also think that's a cop-out. Let it happen, ref, and then give a penalty if you're going to do that. Don't pre-warn them.
Tonali, hand in the air with a signal. Rafael Leao trying to get free at the far post. It goes in towards the middle of the 6-yard box, away by Dzeko. Heads it high into the air. It bounces once before Çalhanoğlu tries to smuggle it away. That wasn't the best of challenges by Teo Hernandez on Barella. And then the ball breaks down the left-hand side for Tonali, who's wrestling with Mkhitaryan. He's beaten him. He's got to the byline. He's pulled it back into the box. It's Brahim Diaz! It's saved down low by Onana, and it's a terrific save. It's a golden chance for Milan to get on the scoreboard, and Onana has made a terrific stop.
It's a decent stop, it's a terrible miss. He's got to hit the target with more power than that. Barella's still down, he's rolling around, he keeps looking to the referee to see if he's going to get something. I think it's a foul. Teo Hernandez comes in, see it again. No, I think he gets enough of the ball. Gets a little bit of the man at the same time. It's not a blatant foul, is it? Tonali does fantastically down the left-hand side. Talk about determination. And when the shot comes in, he bobbles it, he doesn't get a clean connection, digs it into the turf. He gets a clean connection on that, and Onana doesn't have time to get across. I tell you what, though, AC have started, like I said, nothing to lose. They've gone all out, haven't they?
Well, that Brahim Diaz chance on second look was a great opportunity to get themselves on the scoreboard, and he has fluffed his lines. And Onana actually dropped to his left-hand side, made a good stop, but you're right, it's a miss, isn't it?
Look at that, look, it's a yard off centre. He's almost, the ball's bobbling very, very slightly, give him that a little bit, but he digs it into the ground. He's almost too cautious, just thinking, I need to hit the target, rather than just relaxing, putting his foot through it and giving Onana no chance. But Tonali's determination was magnificent.
Technical director of Milan, Paolo Maldini, is watching on from on high. He knows his team will require a certain level of plotting and a methodical, well-executed game plan if they're to get through this tie. They have belief in the Milan camp that a great collective performance will be fundamental if they're to pull off something truly historic. It would be historic for them to come back from 2-0 down and qualify for the Champions League final. Dzeko's beaten the offside trap, moves down the left-hand side, isolates Tomori. He's got space on this near side for Calabria, who's broken into the box, and now it's back to Barella. Oh, saved beautifully by Maignan. The offside flag has now gone up. It should have gone up a long time ago. I think that's for the initial offence against Dzeko, but I don't think Maignan was supposed to know about that, and actually I don't think he was offside.
I don't know, you know.
It would have counted.
That's very, very close. But what's a save? He's going to his right-hand side. All his weight is on his right, and he sticks out a left hand and manages to stop it. But I have to say again, Dzeko versus Tomori is so one-sided. Tomori must be twice as quick, but every time in both games so far Dzeko gets the ball, he just drops his shoulder and sits Tomori down and just waltzes past him.
14 minutes gone into 0, Milan 0, Talksport 2, bringing you live coverage of the Champions League with Till, the card payment provider from NatWest. Over on Talksport right now, we've got live coverage of the game from the playoffs. The playoffs continuing. Of course, we've got all the playoff games live on Talksport and Talksport 2. Luton leading Sunderland by 0-0. Gabriel Osho, after 10 minutes, has made it 1-0 on the night, 2-2 on aggregate.
Made my debut at Kenilworth Road.
Did you?
Yes. Gave away a penalty.
Of course you did.
Boncho Gunchev. Gunchev? Can't remember his name properly now. Can't even say it properly. Dive. The blatant dive. Should never have been a penalty.
VAR.
But we won 3-1, so it was alright.
Athletic 1, Clyde 1 is the latest in the Scottish League 1 playoffs first leg. Second leg is Friday. Quick turnaround at Galabank, and it's for the right to play in League 1. Anand, who finished third in League 2, taking on Clyde, who finished second bottom of League 1. It works slightly differently in Scotland in terms of promotion and relegation playoffs.
Tonali is doing fantastically well at the moment. His attitude, his desire, his aggression. It's a little bit like watching Gattuso back in the day.
Well, he's 22 years of age, Tonali, and he's sort of a symbol of Milan. I think he is. If it wasn't Ibrahimovic who is the one who sells all the shirts, it would be him, because he's the poster boy for the team. He and Barella, both stalwarts of their club, and that battle's going to be really important tonight. Who gets the most done? Who manages to create the most? Ball is out, away to our left-hand side, and it's a goal kick to... Well, it's actually not a goal kick, it's gone out for a corner away to our left-hand side.
I have to say, I mean, a couple of breakaway chances, but AC Milan are certainly on the front foot, aren't they?
They're coming to the left side of the ground now to take this corner kick. Tonali is going to hit it, right-footed, cutting it towards Giroud. It's away by Dzeko again. Big, strong header out of the box, being chased out by Dimarco. Tomori pops in with a little dummy and then gets it back towards his goalkeeper, Mike Maignan.
It makes me nervous, Tomori. I mean, last game he was poor, but I look at him on the ball, and I know he's supposed to be a good player and decent on the ball, but there's a nervousness when he's got it.
Well, there's a nervousness about Milan. Their form has plummeted. 4 wins in a row in February, followed by just 4 wins in the last 16 matches. We mentioned the confrontation with this small contingent of Milan fans at Spezia on Saturday after an insipid display. They need to produce something special to outmuscle Inter tonight, who have a 2-goal lead on aggregate. It's 0-0 on the night in the second leg of the semi-final of the Champions League, for the right to play either Real Madrid or Manchester City. The second leg of that semi-final is live on Talksport tomorrow from Manchester City's Etihad Stadium. Thursday night, Europa Conference League semi-final second leg, RZ against West Ham, is live on Talksport 2. And I'll be at Brighton Newcastle that night at St James's Park. Ball's on the far side with Milan coming forward down the right with Junior Messias onto Calabria, gets into a wing position, cuts the ball back, produces the cross into the area, stabbed away by Barella, who's back there helping out his defence. It bounces once and then it's chested down by Lautaro Martinez. It's nabbed off him. Krunic plays the ball into Diaz, who goes down under pressure on the edge of the box from Acerbi. It's worked out to the far side. Inter will clear and Diaz is back to his feet. Inter have the ball back once more. 18 minutes gone. Onana, Darmian, right side of the penalty area, back to his goalkeeper. Space on the left for Bastoni if he wants to use him. To DiMarco instead. It was a good elevated kick out to the far side to beat the press from Onana. DiMarco is in the end tugged back by Junior Messias, who's come in for Benacer.
I'll tell you what though, all the talk is about Rafael Leao and how what a difference he was going to make. Who? Exactly, he's been a spectator, isn't he? I think he's touched the ball once so far, not really been involved. It's a little bit sleepy. 19 gone. Inter nil, Milan nil. All sent long. Calabria with a header away. The captain nudges it back in field. Acerbi, best of attempted clearances. It goes straight out. It's away for a throw in which Calabria will take far side the Milan right. It's about 20 yards inside Inter territory. Game settled now into a bit of a pattern where Milan are dictating the tempo of it. I'm going to make a statement. If they get one, they'll get two. So if they get one before 80 minutes, I think they'll get 2 goals. I think the way they've started the game, the belief and confidence that will give them, that's of course if they keep a clean sheet.
Well, isn't this just Inter managing the situation, knowing full well they've got the cushion?
No, because it's very, very difficult to change the tempo of a game when you're sat back. There's been no real attempt to get forward so far and attack them. They're quite happy to sit in and play on the counter-attack, but it's hard to change that mentality if you go 1-0 down.
Bastoni wrestling with Diaz for the ball, and they come away with it here, Inter, and it's gone out to DiMarco on the far side, trying to keep it in. He does just about. Does he know it's gone out? Calabria is certainly vocal in making sure that everybody knows that it's gone out.
Inter can afford to be patient, but they can't be overly cautious where they're constantly sitting back and just inviting pressure all the time.
20 gone. Inter nil, Milan nil. Live on Talksport 2 tonight. Sam Ashface and Danny Mills, the former England international, Leeds United, Manchester City fullback, Middlesbrough League Cup winner,
Derby, Hull.
haven't got all night. Ball played out towards the right side, flicked back in.
Played in the worst team in Premier League history.
11 pointers.
Yes. Only played one game, to be fair.
To get a point in that game?
Well, we 1-0 up when I came off. So, and that was the last ever game that I played after 30 minutes. We were 1-0 up at Portsmouth. So I'd like to think I did my bit. Who knows? If I'd have stayed fit, we might have got out of it.
Very small bit. 21 gone. Dzeko chasing a long ball down the left-hand side, caught by Manuel, and the Milan goalkeeper sprays it out towards this near side where it's collected by Teo Hernandez. He takes several steps to the halfway line before bringing him to Tonali plays it infield, gives it to Randy Krunic. He stops, waits, and then tries to play it down the left channel, looking for Rafael Leao. Maybe a first chance for him to dazzle on the night. Cuts back beyond Denzel Dumfries, plays the ball centrally to no one in particular, and then Dzeko funneling back to help out his defence will help get it clear. But Giroud's putting himself about a bit. Here's Lautaro Martinez to bring it clear. He's in the midpoint of his own half. He wriggles through a very tight gap, and now they're on the wrong side of the ball, Milan. And Tonali comes from behind, and he taps him from behind, gives away a free kick. I think that might be the first yellow card of the game.
I don't think he will. I don't think it's a foul. I think the intention was right. He was trying to get his foot the other side of Martinez to try and almost block it, get a little backheel. There, you see there? I'm not convinced that's a deliberate foul. I think it's a genuine attempt to win the ball. Martinez just a little bit too strong for him.
They've got away with it, I think. One yellow card as of yet incoming for Clement Turpin. I always think those ones usually deemed cynical, usually draw the ire of the officials, but in European competition you're never really quite sure of what you're going to get. ball cleared from the left full-back position, where it's picked up by Bastoni and sent forward towards the Milan half. It hits Giroud, goes out, it's away for a throw. What have you made of Olivier Giroud's contribution so far over the 2 games? 37 years of age in the next couple of weeks, but the player says he still feels fresh. Started all the Champions League games this season.
He's never relied on pace. That's never been his asset, so it doesn't matter if he's lost a yard or two. His experience, his focal point as a front man, his ability to head the ball, to hold it up is superb and vastly experienced. Like I said, won the World Cup without scoring a goal and was pivotal when they won that.
Look at the space for Mkhitaryan. He's approaching the penalty area now. They're played in by Dumfries. He gets the shot away eventually after playing a wall pass off Theo Hernandez. It comes back to Barella inside the box. Set back for Mkhitaryan, whose shot just goes narrowly over the top of the crossbar from the edge of the penalty area. And that's what Inter are capable of when they do get into forward positions. Barella smashing the ball through the box, taken in brilliantly by Dzeko, and then set back to the edge of the box where Mkhitaryan's strike was over the bar.
AC Milan are very vulnerable, don't they? You know, when they're defending in and around their own penalty area. They've got to keep the ball in the Inter half. Simple as that. Because every time Inter come forward, even if it's like half chance or counter-attack, they do look vulnerable.
The referee stops the game for a foul. Annan Athletic 1, Clyde 1 is the half-time score in the Scottish League 1 playoffs. It's the first leg tonight. DiMarco for Inter has the ball over on the far side. To know that they are so close to their first Champions League final in 13 years. That was a late challenge over on the far side on DiMarco, and the referee, his attention being drawn to it. Calabria is pleading his innocence. DiMarco was going towards the ball.
That is a yellow card.
That was a late challenge from Calabria. From behind, right into the back of DiMarco.
Again, I don't think he's not meaning to take the player out. He's just a little bit late. But even still, it's a yellow card.
So it should be. Bellowing down the touchline at the fourth official, Stephanie Frappa, suggesting that should be a yellow card. Back in play with Barella on the edge of the centre circle inside Milan territory. Right wing is Dumfries, up to Dzeko, back to Dumfries, who's now in behind Theo Hernandez. A chance to cross the ball, the core delivery, and it's sent behind by Malik Diaw and out for a corner. But they got in behind so easily there.
Dumfries got into a fantastic position down the inside right, burst down the line of the 18-yard box, and then just snatched it across, didn't he? Almost panicked a little bit, rushed in, caught it with his heel.
Well, here comes Çalhanoğlu, once of AC Milan, but not just once of AC Milan. He had 4 seasons with AC Milan. He can provide a killer ball. He's taken a short corner kick, giving it to DiMarco, who plays it into the box and hits the arm of Tonali, but I don't think there was anything intentional about that. His arm got by his side. It's clipped up towards the far side, looking for Dzeko, headed behind and away for another corner. Theo Hernandez got up there, and this time it goes out on the other side. 0-0. 25 and a half minutes gone. You're listening to Talksport 2. 2-0 aggregate to Inter. Milan, who had some good chances in the first 10-15 minutes of the game, now just being pegged back for a spell.
AC Milan have got to defend well. They've got to be strong, they've got to attack the ball, they've got to make sure that Inter don't get first touch.
Looks like a little bit more extra height in there and muscularity from Inter. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on inside the box. There's 5 to aim at in the penalty area. It's whipped in towards the near post. Poor delivery. Terrible set piece. And it's cleared away towards the halfway line. Inter stopped Milan from playing their way through the centre of the pitch last week. They went with a really aggressive press to disrupt them playing out from the back. Dzeko and Martinez used up a lot of energy, backed up by Çalhanoğlu. The wing-backs pushed up high on the full-backs, and there was no route out for Milan, but they've had a lot better time of it in this second game. Julian Messias has just drawn a foul over on the far side, trying to take on Bastoni.
But in all fairness, Sam, sorry to interrupt, but I think the referee's going to try and keep his cards in his pocket, isn't he? And as long as he's fair for both sides, as long as he allows both teams to have little niggly fouls and doesn't book them, then I don't think you complain. As long as he's consistent, it's not really an issue for me.
Tonali take the free kick, which is only about 11 or 12 yards inside into territory. It's wide on the right, about 7 or 8 paces in from the right touchline. It's going to be Tonali, who whips it in right-footed towards the penalty spot, headed away by Darmian. Comes out of the box, Dumfries is chasing it, Rafael Leao gets there first. He dabs the ball back to halfway. Fikayo Tomori has time on the ball. He looks up, then just plays it to his left where Teo Hernandez strides forward. Dumfries keeping very close to Rafael Leao on this near touchline. The right fullback making sure that Rafael Leao is well aware of his presence. Brahim Diaz didn't get much joy in between the lines in the first game. Hasn't seen much of the ball in this game. When he has, he's particularly dangerous. The one big chance he had, he scuffed straight into the arms of Onana. All given away by Milan. Mkhitaryan has it now. Left side, Bastoni moves towards the halfway line. He looks up, chips it down the left. There's space here for Barella, who's broken the lines and got into the 18-yard box. He played it against Tomori. He's won another corner. Well, they have a goal threat. There is no doubt about that. Inter Milan. And one more goal will kill the tie. It's a city which is split red and blue. There are families where the mum is a Milan fan and the dad's an Inter fan.
Imagine Everton and Liverpool playing in the same stadium.
Yep. Corner kick in towards the near post, punched away by Milan out towards the far side. Used to be the friendly derby, remember. Ball has been picked up by Çalhanoğlu, whipped in towards the near post, away by Giroud, and then it's headed down and then it's controlled inside the box by Calabria. Bastoni gets a shot away. They're stretching to clear it here and haven't managed it. It's back on the edge of the area with Acerbi, who's trying to turn. And that was like watching an articulated lorry trying to do a three-point turn that. Here is Çalhanoğlu, fires the ball towards the right-hand side as Inter continues to put the pressure on. It's whipped into the box by Barella, chested down by Lautaro Martinez, who whacks it against the body of Krunic. It goes out on the far side and away for a throw.
You're right, Acerbi looked like a tall, rangy centre-half, didn't he, at that point?
Didn't look particularly live or mobile, did he?
A little bit giraffe-like, trying to do a little Cruyff turn.
They all have our skill sets. 30 minutes on the clock. And it is the Milan fans that you can hear. The Inter fans just a little bit, I think, sedated. They're in a position where their team have to either stick or twist. At the moment, they've sort of decided to do the sticking. They haven't forced the issue, but they have had a threat when they've been able to break in behind the Milan defence. That Milan defence is vulnerable. It does concede goals. It conceded twice to Spezia at the weekend.
Well, for the sake of the time, the neutral, it'd be fabulous if AC Milan were able to get a goal. Yeah, that would really ramp the game up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure Simone Inzaghi will be too happy about that, but you're right.
I'm not sure he's a neutral.
In terms of entertainment value, it would certainly amp it up, wouldn't it? Here's Barella bending it round the corner, chasing his Dumfries. Manuel's come right to the perimeter of his box, and he's going to have to do a lot to make sure that he keeps hold of that. He does. Dumfries really putting pressure on him. And it's brought away by Teo Hernandez. Infield to Tonali, kept it in well. And then Dumfries gets kicked in the head by Teo Hernandez. Not entirely sure that was a foul on the basis that Dumfries stooped very low to try and head the ball on the blind side of Teo Hernandez. There was nothing really he could do about it, right?
No, Teo Hernandez didn't know he was coming, and he's thrown himself a diving header. I mean, when he heads it, he's, 2 feet off the ground? I don't think there's any real connection either.
No, I don't. No. He wafts his foot at the ball. He actually misses the ball and the man.
Yeah, in all honesty, you're not expecting somebody to throw their head in at that point. I think Teo Hernandez maybe just sees him come and takes his eye off the ball for a second. Not a huge amount in it.
He's getting treatment, but I think that's more about wasting a few precious moments. Lautaro Martinez getting instructions off the referee, Clement Turpin. Now the Inter fans are being encouraged to get to their feet, but it's the Milan fans that are still making the noise high up above the goal away to our right-hand side. Denzel Dumfries getting an ice pack on the back of his head. Rafael Leão getting a hairdryer from Stefani Pioli.
I think it was more of an alarm call. It's like, come on son, wake up.
Any chance? Well, he has been out for probably 10 days now. Not enough time to lose your fitness.
Not 10 weeks, is it, or 10 months? You don't get rusty in 10 days.
Some people do. Some people lose their fitness very quickly.
Not in 10 days, you don't.
Çalhanoğlu's going to take the free kick on this near side. And it's about a yard or so in from the touchline. It's actually Denzel Dumfries who's been punished for that challenge. It's whipped in towards the back post. There's an easy catch for Mike Manuel who's inside the 6-yard box. 33 minutes on the clock, Inter nil, Milan nil. Wayne Rooney was one of those who would lose his fitness in 10 days if he
if he didn't have any fitness in the first place. There's a difference. Wayne Rooney can lose his fitness in 2 games. He's just an unbelievable talent, unbelievable player. He would be. Mark Nuke was like that. When Vaduz came to Leeds, I don't run. I don't do. I'm not built for it. I don't do running. Pre-season was a. He won't mum said he was a disgrace. But you gave him the ball in a game, he was unbelievable. Absolutely magnificent. Some players just aren't built for running. Rafael is though. That's the difference.
Rafael Leão back in the scene tonight. And tomorrow night, big calls for Pep Guardiola. How he approaches that second leg of the game against Real Madrid, live on Talksport. On air at 7 o'clock from the Etihad. Kick-off at 8 o'clock Thursday night. Newcastle against Brighton, the race for the top 4 positions holding up after Liverpool's victory on Monday night. And Brighton looking for a European place themselves. That's going to be a hotly contested match on Thursday. Really looking forward to that game. That's live on Talksport. That game kicks off at 7:30 on Thursday.
Oh, a strange one.
Strange one.
Back to the old days.
I think it's something to do with the fact that that way you're maximising the time that European football can take centre stage. And it will do on Talksport 2. RZ against West Ham United in the Conference League semi-finals. Here's Brahim Diaz over on the right, dispossessed by Bastoni, who's come through to Mkhitaryan. The Armenian runs infield into the centre circle. He loses the ball momentarily and then gets chopped from behind by Radi Krunic. Free kick. And with 10 minutes to go before half-time, Inter have taken this thing out of the game again.
Well, the most important thing is that AC Milan are still in the game at the moment. They're on the front foot, they're trying.
Well, you said 0-0 at half-time is not a bad result.
No, it's not. Because if they concede, that's it, they're done. Simple as that. You know, it's game over. 3-0 into shut up shop. It won't be a problem.
All deep inside the Milan half now. It works its way out towards the left, picked up by Teo Hernandez, who travels at pace through the thirds of the pitch up to the left. Rafael Leão, whose first instinct tonight actually has gone to come backwards rather than take on the defender Denzel Dumfries, and then he's wandered over to the far side of the pitch, rather aimlessly really.
He's more of a hindrance at the moment, isn't he, than a help?
Yeah, Inter Milan get it clear up towards the halfway.
Watch him score now.
And it's back with Milan, and it's through the centre circle. Krunic out to Diaz, and then on to Junior Messias, who moves up towards the right angle of the Inter penalty area, plays it off to Diaz, gets it back again, chops it on his left foot, delivers across in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Giroud was the target. There was a wrestling match going on. Brahim Diaz and then knocks over Mkhitaryan on the edge of the 18-yard box, and the free kick is given in Inter's favour, and they'll take that. They don't need to force the issue after taking the lead. And they were more conservative and didn't go for the third goal in that first game here a week ago. For Milan, well, they might need this game slightly more than Inter. Their hopes of the Champions League qualification for next year have been dented severely by a terrible run of form.
Will that depend on Juve if they get docked points again?
They've just been given them back.
No, they got given back 15. There's now talk they're going to get deducted another 9.
But they'll get them back by the end of the year, won't they? That's the way
I'm not sure there's time. With only 3 games left. It normally takes a while to go through that appeal system, doesn't it?
It's a little bit.
I think it was Andy Brassel talking earlier on that they got deducted maybe too quickly. But there's more talk that they could get deducted 9 in the coming days, which would obviously drop them down a few places.
I'm sure that is something that will come to fruition shortly. Here's Rafael Leao dancing into the box down the left-hand side towards the far corner, and he misses the left hand upright. Well, initially I think Inter think that there was a moment where Leao handballed it as he was running down the left-hand side. When he initially won the ball from Darmian, did he use his arm? Not really.
No, it's the shoulder, wasn't it?
And he managed to get away from Darmian and into the box, and then drove down the left channel, went beyond to Cherby, and then hit it maybe too early across the goalkeeper, and with his left foot it was always going to arc away from the post. It did that, and it's a goal kick.
Did Onana let that go? It's almost like he knew it was maybe going to go wide.
But he never looked confident, because once he plays it on his left foot with the instep, it's always going to move out.
Yeah, and the angle was very, very tight.
That was one either from the outside of the boot, or to hit it with your right foot and then get it to come in again.
But at least he's shown us something, what he can do. You know, that's why they need to get the ball to him. He needs to keep doing that.
Ball up towards the left-hand side, and Dzeko, who's on the attack for Inter, is fouled by Fikayo Tomori, who is very popular at the San Siro because of his love of the Italian culture and his ability to embrace it, really. But he did just shove Dzeko in the back, and he's not going to get away with that.
I think I'd quite happily accept the Milan culture as well.
I think you would?
It's not hard, is it? It's like,
I think it'd fit in there.
Yeah, it's quite easy to adapt to that, I would say.
They're like cynical Norfolk-born no-nonsense defenders.
Follically challenged they like as well, don't they? They like a shiny head.
Çalhanoğlu in towards the near post, flicked on by Dzeko and saved by Manuel. Brilliant save as well. Down low to his right-hand side, it flicked off of Dzeko. It was the merest of touches, and he did brilliantly to get down to his right-hand side. He didn't move much, and it hit him in the face, I think.
I think it hits his hand and then his face, or hits his hand, his other hand, and then his face. You're right, it's a great ball in. Tiny flick from Dzeko. And the goalkeeper, right place, right time, reacts incredibly well to keep his team in it.
Ball tossed into Dzeko, back to goal, watched by Malik Thiaw. Out to the left it goes to Mkhitaryan. 5 minutes to go before half-time. It's out to Dzeko again, then Mkhitaryan with a chance to cross, Calabria into the air. That is the danger that Milan have to deal with as well. The ball's into the box from Çalhanoğlu, who is absolutely terrific from a dead ball situation.
But that's two really good saves now the goalkeeper has made, isn't it? That'll give him a lot of confidence. It'll give the defence a little bit of confidence. And now we start to think, is it going to be our night? If we can get one, goalkeeper's playing well, we're riding our luck a little bit.
He does have unbeatable days, Mike Manuel. They call him Magic Mike, and that was a magic save. 5 minutes to go before half-time. Corner to be taken by Di Marco, far side the left. It's an outswinger this time, away by Giroud. Barella nudges it forward to Lautaro Martinez, who gets it onto his left foot, edge of the box, left foot, he drives it towards the far corner over the bar. No real trouble for Magic Mike that time.
Wasn't quite sure if he did use his hand in that early bit, and then he was just leaning backwards, sliced it, got underneath it.
Mike Manuel has made two terrific saves in the game, and Brahim Diaz has missed a terrific chance in the game. It's
but
still 0-0.
Just imagine, Sam, that AC Milan nick a goal on 75 minutes. You're very, very nervous 15 minutes because the ascendancy will be with them. They've got nothing to lose.
Are you trying to tell me this is part of the game plan? They don't want to score.
No, but I'm saying, I think we all thought it was almost dead and buried. AC Milan were out of it. But, as long as they don't concede, as long as they stay in the game, they don't have to score. If they score 75 minutes, give yourself 15 minutes to get another one when all the momentum is with you. Inter Milan will start to get a little bit nervous. There's every chance they'll get two.
Christian Vieri is watching from the sidelines. One of the many ex-players who have played for both in one of these derbies. Stefano Pioli watching on from the sidelines, just standing.
Best player to play for both?
Best player to play for both.
That's an easy one.
Ronaldo.
Correct.
He scored in one of these derbies.
The Ronaldo, by the way. For all those over the age of 25. Sorry, younger.
Brazilian Ronaldo.
Under the age of 25, I should say.
Yeah.
The Ronaldo.
Yeah, Giuseppe Meazza was the revered player for both these two teams. One of the stadiums named after him. Both teams have had iconic figures, but he scored a Milan derby for both sides, and I think Ronaldo did that, Roberto Baggio did that, Clarence Seedorf did that, and Ibrahimovic had done that as well.
Not bad, are they, those players, by the way?
Quite good company, isn't it, to be with? Also Aldo Savini and Enrico Candiani, Maurizio Gantz also managed that feat as well.
Any Italian hatchet men in there that played for both?
Any Italian hatchet men? Well, I'm sure there was an Italian played for both, but not scoring in derbies for both sides.
I just wonder how they'd have been taken, because I think obviously sometimes fans quite accept the fact that, you know, you've got a goal scorer that comes to your team, and if they do well, I just wonder if there was one that, you know, was a little bit rough and ready.
Well, Mkhitaryan is coming off to be replaced by Marcelo Brozovic because of an injury that he's picked up. He had treatment for about a minute and a half there. That's the first substitution of the game. Brozovic came off the bench in the first game last week. In the second half, he plays that sort of deep line playmaker role for Inter. He also played for Milan between 2017-2021. Not quite a hatchet man, but he's played for both clubs.
I mean, there's been some iconic Italians, haven't there, down the years.
Ball sent forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Bastoni heads it back to his goalkeeper.
Tough defenders, as they were called back then.
Libero, the playmaker in front of the defence. That was made famous by these two great clubs in Juventus in European football. Here is Denzel Dumfries wandering into midfield, collected by Diaz, and then sent back in towards the left-hand side to Leao, and then Diaz, and then on the left edge of the Inter penalty area, they're rushing back in numbers, the blue shirts. He goes into the box, comes back to Diaz, edge of the area, tries a volley, hits the body of Acerbi, is smuggled out by Dzeko, and then it's loose, and Dzeko can't get there. Malik Thiaw does, and it's scooped out towards the left flank. Leao trying to bring it down, couldn't get it under control with his first touch, and Dumfries heads it out on this near side, and it remains 0-0.
Need more from Leao. Really, seen one tiny little moment where he went down the outside, created himself an opportunity, but apart from that, he's been pretty much anonymous.
Still Luton 1, Sunderland 0, 2-2 on aggregate on Talksport tonight. Luton have just scored a second goal. Tom Lockyer, the centre-half, has scored, and that puts them in pole position to go to Wembley. Imagine that, Premier League games at Kenilworth Road. I think Pepper like going there. Here is Krunic posting the ball forward. Oh, Chapanoglu stood on the ball when he was trying to bring it right.
Easy there, I know that.
Parking's terrible there. In fact, everything's terrible there. I've got to be honest with you. It's got a little bit of charm about it. I know you're romantically attached to it.
No, I'm not. The press room's not bad. It's about the size of a shoebox, isn't it? You get 3 people in there, it's overcrowded. They might have to do something about that if they get promoted. I think it's still the fact that you have to walk through people's houses, which are actually sort of like the turnstiles.
Yeah, there's turnstiles underneath people's houses. Here is Martinez out towards the far side, the left. Inter on the attack. Di Marco towards the edge of the penalty area. Oh, it's missed by Teo Hernandez. Brought down by Dumfries, and Teo has to come across and manage to clear it for Milan. They almost caused themselves a real slice of harm just before half-time. There'll be 3 minutes added at the end of this first 45 minutes, but that intervention there from Teo was impressive and important, because Teo Hernandez had made a huge mistake to allow Denzel Dumfries in.
They're just riding their luck at the moment. You know, they've been fortunate a couple of times. You know, the 2 saves from the goalkeepers were little deflections, and he saved them. I mean, you start to think, getting at half-time 0-0, manages, look, this is here for you lads. Go and get 1, you'll get 2. Could make for a really interesting second half.
Malik Thiaw up to halfway, clicks the ball out towards the near side, headed away by Denzel Dumfries, and it's back from Simone Inzaghi. Since drawing in Benfica to steal their place in the last 4, Inter have won all 5 of their Serie A matches, a Coppa Italia semi-final against Juve, and this first leg of this tie as well. They've scored 22 goals during that period, and they've conceded just 4. Milan who have only scored twice on 4 occasions in the last 20, need to score 2 goals in order to take this to extra time.
Yeah, but equally, would you have had Everton scoring 5 against Brighton?
I certainly wouldn't.
No, exactly. That's what, that's...
And not many people did. It was 300 to 1 with the bookmakers.
Well, exactly.
Nobody had it.
And that's why we love this game of football, because there's always unpredictability.
Here is Calabria down the right. Played it into Junior Messias, who trots back, flips it forward, looking for Tonali. A little flick on. I think it may have hit the arm of Olivier Giroud, who's pleading his innocence to Clement Turpin. Hit his head.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he gave that for.
Hit his head, and then Brahim Diaz went into the penalty area, and just as he got into the box, there was a challenge by Çalhanoğlu. It might have just been on the edge of the box, actually.
Not sure it was a foul, in all fairness, either. But again, that's a difficult one for the referee, because Giroud gets surprised by the ball, and it's going towards his head, and his hand is up, and he's almost trying to get out of the way of it, and he just catches his head. So, again, in a split second, you can almost understand why the referee gives it.
There's an handball, though. There has been no goals in this first 45 minutes. Inter bossed the first leg of the semi-final. They've had the better chances in the second leg, too. 2 big saves from Mike Maignan have thwarted Edin Dzeko so far. The final at this moment in time beckons, but there's a big 45 minutes to come. It's finally poised. Inter 0, Milan 0, 2-0 to Inter on aggregate. The stadium is named after the San Siro district in which it is located. The stadium hosted an opening game in which Inter beat Milan 6-3 in September 1926. It's nearly 100 years old. They haven't really come to an arrangement about what they're going to do with it next. The talk is they're going to rebuild it together. Then there was talk that they would rebuild separate stadiums apart. But whenever these two meet, it's always emotionally draining. In all competitions, this is the 237th Derby della Madonnina. That is one hell of a rivalry built up over years. Usually they are pretty even. Here's Giroud flicking it on with Milan shooting from left to right in the second half in black shirts, red stripes and white shorts. And Inter in the black and blue attacking the goal away to our left. I'll go through the 11s for you in just a second, but here is Di Marco finding Dzeko, who moves up to within 10 metres of the penalty area. Martinez back to Di Marco, whose shot is blocked by Malik Thiaw. Comes out to Barella, who's on the angle of the box. The back heel isn't going to reach Çalhanoğlu. And Junior Messias manages to nudge it out on this near side and away for a throw a minute into the second half.
Just got to make sure they manage the first 10, 15 minutes of this, stay in the game, give yourself an opportunity. That's all they can do.
By they, you mean Milan?
Yes.
Ball sent down the left-hand side. It goes out of play and away for a throw-in on the near touchline.
I was giving our listeners the opportunity to believe that they're very intelligent.
You've given them the opportunity to believe they're very intelligent.
Yes,
you were just giving them
the fact
credit.
that staying in the game would mean that clearly that's AC.
Talksport. Talksport 2, Inter 0, Milan 0. The ball worked out towards the wide left-hand side. It's picked up by Teo Hernandez. He fires it long up towards the middle of the Inter half of the field. It's cut out though by Inter and sent back towards the halfway line. Çalhanoğlu plays it wide towards the right. Denzel Dumfries, Dzeko, who's been all over the pitch actually. It'll be interesting to see when we do see Romelu Lukaku. He's got through a lot of work already in the game, has Edin Dzeko. 37 years of age. It's not always easy. He's covered quite a bit of ground so far. 5.1 kilometres at 37 years of age.
It's not that far.
So what is it, the fourth or fifth highest in the game so far?
5k
In the game so far, yeah. The most is 6
in 45 minutes.
So we'll do what, 10, 11 during the course of the game?
Yeah, but realistically,
It's a centre forward.
But if you were running, you could do a lot. It could do double that.
Yeah, but that's not the game.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. But you know, when you talk about, you know, it can't run much more than that.
I didn't say can't run much more than that. I said he's got through a lot of work.
That's not that much work.
Ball is up towards the halfway line. Well, Barella's got through a lot of work. 6.42 kilometres in the first half.
You'd be surprised how much, when you actually look at the statistics of the fitness in games, how much walking there is and how much standing still.
But what I mean
Huge amount.
is obviously they've covered that distance with the short, sharp sprints as well, and that does take it out of you over time, especially if you're an older. And you should know that. 49 minutes on the clock. You're being contrary again.
I used to cover minimum 12k a game.
He's on for that.
He's not.
Ball is on the halfway line. It's given to DiMarco. DiMarco in behind here. And he charges towards the edge of the box, and it's picked up by Mike Mannion.
I think my highest ever was 14 and a half as a wing back.
You didn't play till you were 37, did you?
I wish I had done. No, injury curtailed that.
Here is Rafael Leao, far side, right-footed cross into the box, headed away by Cherby. And it bounces on halfway. There's a little bit of reluctance from Inter to get out quickly and try and shut them down. It goes wide to the right, collected now by Junior Messias. He moves towards the right edge of the penalty area. A left-footed delivery towards the far post, arced beyond those in rushing. And it goes behind and away for a goal kick. It's 0-0, 2-0 on aggregate to Inter. At the moment they're heading to Istanbul, the venue for the final. I'm sure there would have been optimistic Inter fans that decided to take a punt, book hotels and flights last week.
Oh, I'm sure they'd done that long before that. Knowing full well they can sell them to family and friends.
I know that.
With a massive uplift.
Clipping the ball down the touchline. It's helped towards Dumfries, away by Teo Hernandez. That's the way the mind of Danny Mills works. Ball cleared out on the right side after a confrontation between Lautaro Martinez and Kranjic. Martinez has got back to his feet. He's trying to charge forward. Stopped by Malik Thiaw, and he's picked up a little hobble there as Martinez. Barella's ball back to Çalhanoğlu was a little bit too bobbly, goes towards the left-hand side. Martinez and Malik Thiaw involved in a confrontation in which Lautaro Martinez did have a kick out. Çalhanoğlu was then on the wrong end of a challenge, just a couple of yards away from that. It did get a little bit spicy there, Danny. Messias Jr. was the guilty party.
Inter Milan are just starting to exert a little bit of control, aren't they? That's what it is, and AC Milan are getting a little bit frustrated, so they're trying to break it up, and they just put a couple of slightly late challenges. Yeah, Martinez, he jumps to avoid the challenge. Again, there's not much contact in that. If there had been with his foot, might have been a VAR check for it.
He did wrap his right foot around Malik Thiaw after jumping out of the way of the challenge, which was unnecessary, and then just sort of half pulled out of it. Çalhanoğlu into the middle of the park. It's a return from Barella, weaves his way to the left side of the Milan penalty area. There's a push inside the box, or is it Cherby who's actually stepped back onto Tonali? The referee's seen that, and they want them to, they're suggesting there's a little bit more to it than that. Tomori and Mike Mannion, and Giroud is confronting the referee as well. Cherby puts his hand up. There was a stamp. That's a stamp by Cherby on Tonali. We've seen the replay. They've got to look at it on VAR.
That's textbook Danny Mills, that is, defending from a corner. 25 years ago you got away with that. Again, why they're not even going to look at it?
How obvious was that? Honestly,
confused.
This is actually unreal. It's obvious that Cherby has stepped back and stamped on the toe of Tonali, which I'm guessing is a red card offence.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's a stamp, isn't it?
And they haven't even checked it on VAR.
He wasn't even subtle about it. No, we used to do it where you used to just keep walking backwards, knowing full well you're going to land on someone's toes. That was a blatant stamp.
That is ridiculous. How has he got away with that? Maybe the VAR isn't working tonight. Maybe Jerome Brissard is switched off his monitor. Maybe his battery's gone on his iPad. Inter nil, Milan nil. 2-0 to to Inter Milan. You're listening to Talksport 2 on a Tuesday night. Wednesday night brings you coverage from the Championship playoff semi-final between Middlesbrough and Coventry. That one finally poised as well. Milan going out of the Champions League unless they can get into the Inter half. But at the moment, Inter are just keeping them at arm's length.
Yeah, they've just got a little bit of control of the game, haven't they? They're able to, they're slowing it down a little bit, they're keeping possession better. They're not allowing AC Milan to build up ahead of steam like they did in the first half.
That could have changed the entire tie, couldn't it? Cherby being sent off, down to 10 men, Inter. That would have changed the nature of the game. Çalhanoğlu has been fouled on this near side.
You said that about the first game, though, couldn't you?
Yeah, with
the punch, so... You know, sometimes referees may be thinking, well, I know it's a different referee, but you're thinking, well, do we keep it the same? Do we even it up a little bit?
Bastoni swings it forward, looking for Dzeko. It's over his head, marshalled well by Tomori, and it's cleared away by Mike Maignan, who has been touted as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, actually. Mike Maignan,
by his agent.
Çalhanoğlu onto Dzeko, played forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Thiaw with a scoop and clearance from inside the box. It's out towards the near side. It's away for a throw. Simone Inzaghi just waiting for someone to come and take the throw in. He's delaying the restart. It's the dark arts, the game management, the making sure that every single set piece they use all the time available to them. All tossed into Lautaro Martinez. Dzeko down the left-hand side. A low cross into the box. It's going to go all the way through the area. And Tonali's going to chase it out the other side. And now he looks to escape. Up over the halfway line he goes. He moves up into territory. He's on the left. He cuts infield. He runs diagonally, centrally towards the middle of the penalty area is Giroud. He fired it into him. He couldn't get there with his first touch. And then Malik Thiaw has just wrestled Martinez to the floor. That's going to be a yellow card, the first one of the game.
There's a started by a poor touch from Olivier Giroud, allowed the ball to get away from him, very unlike him in all honesty. As Martinez just flicked the ball over the head of Malik Thiaw. He had nowhere to go really. He committed himself. Martinez had done him with a little flick over his head. He had no option really but to just push him and bring him down.
Slows the game down again. Inter quite happy with that.
Was Raphael taken off at half-time, by the way?
He's still here. Here is Martinez wrestling with Tomori, gets the header away, but it's straight to Dzeko. Martinez went wandering off into the middle of the penalty area, but the cross from Dzeko actually ends up in the first row of the stand. Running the goal away to our left-hand side. 56 gone?
Yeah, 56 minutes gone, and Raphael has had one involvement in the game, isn't it? That's it.
Well, the two teams look like this. Inter, Onana in goal, Darmian, Cherby and Bastoni. Dumfries, Barella, Çalhanoğlu, Brozovic and Dimarco, Martinez and Dzeko. For Milan, we've got the ball on the edge of their own penalty area now, with Mike Maignan, the goalkeeper. Calabria, Thiaw, Tomori and Hernandez, Krunic and Tonali, Junior Messias, Diaz and Rafael Leao, and Giroud up top. Here's Radi Krunic, nudging it forward on halfway to Tonali, who's robbed by Barella. Lovely little skip pass by Barella. Leaves it for Brozovic, who opens up his body and spreads the play to the left. It's on first time by Dimarco. Into the left channel for Dzeko, tries to pull it through the area. And it's nowhere near Lautaro Martinez, and it's tidied up by Malik Thiaw. And then Messias will bring it towards halfway.
Inter are not overcommitting, are they? You know, they're being very, very cautious with the amount of people that they throw forward. They're going forward in ones and twos, occasionally three, but that's about it.
There's no need for them to gamble as the ball goes into the box, and that was a bit of a gamble from Denzel Dumfries, who seemed to collide with Rafael Leao inside the penalty area. The ball came in from Brahim Diaz. He went towards the far post. There was a bit of a clumsy challenge there between the two.
It's not enough for a penalty. But we both know if the referee's not giving it, there is no VAR. Well, it doesn't seem that there's any VAR in this game.
VAR maybe has got the same alarm clock as Rafael Leao. Ball cleared upfield by Mike Manuel through the middle of the pitch. I mean, Tomori has just literally jumped all over Lautaro Edin-Dzeko, using him as a sort of step ladder to get up into the air. Both arms on his back.
I mean, it's a piggyback, and then he's trying to get on his shoulders. I mean, that's just so naive to do that. As a centre-half, as a defender, you're always taught, don't try and go and win the ball that you cannot win. You're only going to give away a foul. Sometimes you have to accept that it's a decent ball, the centre-forward's big and strong, go defend the second ball.
59 on the clock, Inter nil, Milan nil, 2-0 on aggregate. Throwing on the far side, on the near side, the left is won eventually by Calabria, who brings it away from Çalhanoğlu, and then he's fouled by Di Marco. Calabria wants a yellow card for Di Marco for a cynical foul. The referee is not inclined to give that.
No, I think the referee, he didn't see the stamp. That's not his fault, because it was off the ball. VAR didn't see that, but I think the referee has at least been consistent. He's let a lot of niggly fouls go, and he's tried to keep his cards in his pocket as much as possible.
Ball is won by Brozovic in midfield for Inter. They turn the ball over into the centre circle. Picked up by Dzeko, dispossessed by Olivier Giroud. A combined age of 74 between them. The ball clipped down the left-hand side for Milan, who go on the attack. Rafael Leao to the byline, steers it towards the edge of the box. Meanwhile, Matteo Darmian comes across to clear, but it was Denzel Dumfries who ends up disappearing into the photographer's pit behind the goal after chasing with Leao. Here's Lautaro Martinez taking on Tomori, beating Tomori, who then gets back at him and defends well. Gets the ball away by using his body to just sandwich it between ball and man, and then funneling it forward towards Radi Kranic. Was a foul off the ball, the referee allowed it to go on, and Tonali now flicks it towards the edge of the Inter penalty area, away by Darmian.
AC Milan need a substitution, but they need an injection of something at the moment. It looks like they've just lost a little bit of belief, a little bit of passion that's gone out of them. It just needs reigniting, and the best way to do that is by a sub.
Tonali, Radi Kranic plays it square, and it's collected now by Junior Messias, who moves up towards the right edge of the penalty area, cuts in on his left foot, chips across into the box. It's a floater which goes in behind the defence, and Olivier Giroud is frustrated with that delivery as it flips behind the goal away to our right hand side, and the Inter fans start to sense that the trip to Istanbul is on. 30 minutes away now. Italian champions in 21-22 after an 11-year title drought. AC Milan won their first derby meeting of this campaign 3-2 in September, but have lost 3 times since without scoring. 2-0 last week, 3-0 in the Italian Super Cup in January, and 1-0 in Serie A in February. They've never gone 4 games in a row being beaten by Inter, not without scoring. Inter don't have to beat them tonight. Malik Thiaw is just stretching out, a bit of a calf problem.
There could be a blessing in disguise if he has to go off. That forces the coach into substitution, doesn't it? Might even force him to change tactics or whatever.
A bit of cramp. Simon Kjaer is getting stripped and ready for action. He's replaced Simon Kjaer tonight as Malik Thiaw. Kjaer played at the weekend against Spezia. He was at the forefront of those discussions with the ultras. Yeah, he seemed to just sort of pull up after playing the ball back to his goalkeeper just moments ago there. Malik Thiaw put his hand up straight away. It's a like-for-like change if Kjaer does come on, so it won't be particularly inspiring in terms of a change of tactic. And time is running out, 28 minutes to go, and there is a sense from the Internazionale support that they are taking strides towards a final in Istanbul. Thiaw certainly can't continue.
The momentum for me in the first half was with AC Milan. That's changed in the second half, so somehow they need to redress that, and they need to get on the front foot again.
So what should Pioli be doing? Bringing on a substitute, changing formation?
Yeah, I think you've got to do something, because at the moment it's not working, and Inter look very, very comfortable. So 30 minutes to go, make changes. Tiao's back on.
Crikey. Didn't look like he moved just a minute ago. He still doesn't look particularly comfortable. He's trying to kick it with his right foot, and he's pulled up again straight away. Slightly dangerous situation to get yourself involved in when you're in a Champions League semi-final and your centre-half can't kick the ball with his right foot, which is his playing foot. Darmian has cracked into Leao over on the far side, and it's going to be a free kick. Kalulu about to come on. That is another like-for-like change. Surely Malik Thiaw is going to be replaced now. Indeed he is.
So it was Kier. So, he's like, hang on, son, sit down.
Yeah. Well, Kier was stripped and ready for action straight away. And then they decided against that.
That's a kick to the teeth, isn't it, if you're Kier?
He's getting on these years now. He didn't play particularly well last week, I don't think. Simon Kier, he's 33.
He wasn't the only one, by the way.
He wasn't. Ball kick clear up over the halfway line by Milan. They've just had to reconfigure their defence. Now Teo Hernandez at left back, Tomori, Kalulu, and then on the right side Calabria.
Having said that, there's a lot of questions asked about Fikayo Tomori, why he's not in the England side, why is he not this, that and the other. From these two games that I've seen, he's nowhere near it. Dzeko is running him ragged.
There's quite a few stories about Calabria being run ragged and Tonali being taken to school in that first game. I think everybody was too happy about some of those headlines. As the ball is collected by Diaz, he thinks he's going to get a foul given against Barella, who does a brilliant bit of skill to bring it infield and then give it to Martinez, who sweeps the ball on the turn out towards the left-hand side. Dzeko onto DiMarco, didn't see it coming and then ended up stepping on the ball. It might break for DiMarco anyway, who's got behind Calabria, who's used his body just to push him to the floor, and is out for a throw on this near side to Milan.
Captain got very, very lucky, didn't he, Calabria, then? A complete air shot.
Here he comes to save the day. Big Rom is about to go on. And is he going to make the difference? Romelu Lukaku, who scored 2 at the weekend against Sassuolo. And he's going to replace Edin Dzeko's. Robin Gersons is also coming on as well. So 2 changes. Dzeko's getting a standing ovation from the Inter support, and quite rightly so. And Robin Gersons standing up and applauding his teammate as well, because it's been a terrific display over the last couple of matches. And Lukaku coming into the team now to lead the line, and that gets a big cheer as well.
Yeah, Dzeko started this all off, didn't he, with that fantastic goal. Magnificent volley in the first leg.
Well, Gersons for DiMarco is a straight swap on the left-hand side, and so is the swap up top involving Lukaku and Dzeko. He's got a really good partnership with Lautaro Martinez.
And this is why AC Milan, they're now got to react. He's got to make changes. He's got to do something to try and turn the momentum, turn the tide in this game.
Well, they've had, so far in the game, just 1 shot on target in the match. That was a weak one from Brahim Diaz, which was saved by Onana.
And he should have scored, shouldn't he?
He should have done.
It wasn't a half chance, it was a brilliant opportunity.
You're not going to get back into a game where you need to score 2 goals if you only have 1 shot on target. Here is Junior Messias back to halfway. It's been a frustrating evening so far for Milan. And Inter will be quite happy about that.
It's just like they've run out of ideas at the moment.
They're very good at shutting you down, Inter, covering all the passing lanes.
Well, do something different then. Stick the ball in the box. You've got Giroud in there that can head the ball, play for seconds, whatever. What they're doing at the moment is not working, and they need 2 goals.
Junior Messias into Rafael Leao, tries to get it out on the right hand side. He moves up towards the edge of the penalty area. He tries a trick to take on Acerbi, and then outfoxes himself with his own feet and puts it behind and away for a goal kick. It was really poor. And an Athletic 3-1 up against Clyde in the playoffs for League One. Eric Sula, after 82 minutes, has got the 3rd goal. Max Pillsbury got 2. It's still 2-0 to Luton in the Championship playoff semi-final 2nd leg. And that means that at this moment in time it's Luton who are going through to Wembley. All cleared upfield by Onana. And straight back again. Touched by Messias towards Giroud, but Cherby reacted well. And it's cleared out towards the near touchline.
Luton at Wembley, do you think we'll get David Pleat on the pitch?
You never know.
With his little... Do you think he can still manage to do that sort of run, skip?
Seen Pleaty recently? Still scouting.
Yeah, but I'm not sure he can do that run, skip anymore. That little sort of jumpy one going across the pitch.
Kalulu.
I have to say, he is one of the... He is the encyclopedia of football. His knowledge of academy players, young players, old players is absolutely incredible.
He is unreal. You sit and have a cup of coffee with him. You have 10 minutes. You've learned about 3 years worth of studying.
Ask him about any player.
Yeah, he's got it all.
And he will know. Unbelievable.
Calabria on the right hand side for Milan, trying to get towards the edge of the penalty area, produces a cross, it's headed down by Leao and into the path of Junior Messias, but didn't attack it with any gusto, and it's picked up by Onana. You just wonder whether or not there was an opportunity here for once Calabria sends the ball into the box, for either Leao to leave it for Giroud, who's coming behind him for the volley, or chest it down and go for goal.
Or even head it for goal. 12 yards out, surely you've got to try and head it for goal. It just tries to cushion it and gets it completely wrong.
I think he's fit enough.
It does it well.
Cherby striding forward from centre-back, charges into opposition territory, unleashes a shot, takes a deflection and bobbles up into the arms of Mike Manuel.
What was wrong with him in the first? Why didn't he play the first game? What was it?
He had a muscle injury, pulled up during a game against Lazio. I was watching the match. After about 10 minutes he went through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He collided with the goalkeeper. I just think he felt something went down. I don't think he's 100% looking at it.
He doesn't look 50% looking at it.
Calabria moving down the right into the path of Junior Messias, out towards the right hand side in Calabria, back into Junior Messias again, who takes a couple of steps forward, gives it to Rafael Leao. Leao trying to turn away from Barella, keeps hold of the ball, looks up and then plays it against Brozovic.
He's got no belief in himself at all, has he?
And Lukaku goes charging forwards, taking on Tomori, who got in front of him. And Tomori's not a small fella, but Lukaku looked massive up against him. He did very well to hold his ground there, Tomori. Guided that back to the goalkeeper.
Leao's now sort of worked his way into the middle, into the number 10 sort of role position.
And Tonali's gone out to the left-hand side.
But it's almost like he's got no belief in himself, no belief in his body can do what he wants. Mate, I mean, if he is, then that's poor from the manager. If you're playing a player that's nowhere near fit enough to compete at this level, you're basically playing with 10 men.
Ball delivered into the box, flicked on by Giroud, no one's behind him. And it floats out towards the corner flag on the far side. And Andre Onana will just allow that to run out of play for a throw-in. Cherby goes to the ground, says, I've got a problem, I need a bit of attention, please delay it a little bit further. 19 minutes left before Inter get their way to a final. They've had greater Champions League experiences than their city neighbours over the last few years. Now they want to collapse their season, because it really will probably collapse Milan's season. They've been on such a dreadful run that they have lost their place in the top four. Inter have taken it, and they're in a situation.
Yeah, but if Juve lose that 9 points,
then they'll have 1 point more than Juve.
Yeah.
Have they got enough about them to get any more points? Juve certainly have.
well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, it could be really interesting if that is the case. And I think it was Andy Brassel today talking about it, just saying that there's a good chance that they will be, Juve will be deducted points.
Well, the good news is that the second to last game of the season is Juventus against
Milan.
So even if they lose 9 points, it'll still be in their hands. We've got to be careful.
Is that here or is that in
Turin? Here is Lukaku over on the right hand side, charging down into the right wing position. Barella takes it on, tries a little back heel into the path of Lukaku, but wasn't cute enough, and Tonali will bring it clear for Milan, who look to come on the charge. Inter have put a few men forward, but it doesn't really matter how many people are back if you don't find the pass that's required. Tonali didn't. Rushed it, wasn't accurate, and it dribbles out of play for a throw into Inter inside their own half. They look as if they've realised that the game is got away from them.
They've run out of steam, they've run out of belief. they've got two and a half minutes to get a goal. If they don't get a goal before 75, it's done and dusted.
Bastoni's take the throw for Inter in front of the dugouts, down in front of us. He launches it high into the evening sky, away by Kalulu.
How can he not make attack? Sorry, Stan. How can he not make attacking changes?
Gersons, left side, reverse ball, gets it back. Lukaku, edge of the penalty area, tries to push away Krunic, plays it into Lautaro Martinez, gets it onto his right foot, back into two Inter players. They've given it to Martinez again to finish it, drives it in at the near post, beyond Mike Maignan, and sends Inter to Istanbul. No way back now. In the fierce heat of a derby and the glare of a Champions League semi-final, Inter had taken charge, and Lautaro Martinez has scored again against the fierce City rivals, and this time it's the final now in the Milan coffin, and Inter are going to the Champions League final.
That's it, all over. The last thing that AC Milan needed was to concede. They've conceded in their 74th minute. That's it, done and dusted. It's not the greatest of strikes, in all honesty. I think he mishits it, Sam. If I'm honest, he cuts back onto his left foot. AC Milan don't get close enough. He cuts across it, doesn't he? It's not the cleanest of strikes. I don't think he's trying to squeeze that in at the near post, but it doesn't matter. He hits it with enough power. I think he wrong foots the goalkeeper, who probably should do better.
And the worst thing about that goal was that Gersons and Lukaku were almost on each other's toes.
Well, they were tackling each other to get the shot away.
And there was a red and black shirt putting in a challenge.
And as it comes back out to Martinez, he gets onto his left foot. It's not a clean strike. I don't think he's going for the near post. He cuts across it a little bit. Wrong foots the goalkeeper.
There's nothing but joy amongst the Nero Azzurri. They are bouncing in the stands of San Siro. And Denzel Dumfries ended up in the crowd. Martinez went up a couple of steps and stood on one of the fences and bellowed into the support. That's it. They know it's done. They know that they are booking flights to Istanbul. They will be applying for tickets. They know that they have crushed their city rivals over two legs. Teo Hernandez has just gone down after a collision with Barella. And now the attacking changes come, Danny. Origi and Salamanca.
Too late. Simple as that. They'd lost momentum 10 minutes into the second half. He needed to make changes, then he didn't. And I think that's what's cost him.
Origi coming on. And that is Junior Messias is coming off. And Alexis Salamanca is also on. And Origi, who's he coming on for? Brahim Diaz. Interesting. Diaz is the one who's got the invention to carve out a chance.
Pointless substitutions at this stage. Too little, too late.
Teo Hernandez with the free kick, swings it into the penalty spot. It comes towards Giroud's header is glanced towards the far post, and it's wide of goal. And it's another opportunity. You just wonder whether or not even he believed that he was going to be able to net it from there. Now Lautaro Martinez certainly did, driving the shot low and hard beyond Mike Maignan.
All credit to Inter Milan. They came under a little bit of pressure in the first half, but they were able to see that out, getting at half-time at 0-0, and they've managed the game in the second half incredibly well. They've denied any space, any opportunity to AC Milan.
It's been a feature of them recently, Danny. They were a little bit frenetic and chaotic, and you heard Andy Brassel talk about bad Inter earlier in the day, and that was the case earlier in the season. But they've been calm, they've been composed recently, and that's why they've won 7, nearly 8 games in a row.
And it's also then experience. They've got some very experienced players in there, and I think there'll be a match for either Manchester City or Real Madrid. They'll make it difficult. It certainly won't be. Everyone's saying that, you know, tomorrow is the final. It's not.
Here's Martinez again, shooting towards goal, punched into the air by Mike Maignan, and it was 25 yards out from Lautaro Martinez, and he just strong-armed the defender out of the way, got to the right of Kalulu, and then sent it high into the night sky, and Mike Maignan didn't really know where it was going. He punched the ball up in the air, and then hoped that it would go wide.
Yeah, they've got three very good attacking players. Martinez, Lukaku, and Dzeko. They can cause anyone problem. So it's not done and dusted by any means.
Barella has got a yellow card. Krunic has got a yellow card.
They shook the referee's hand.
And he shook the referee's hand to say thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I think that might have been deemed as sarcastic.
Or maybe he said sorry.
Well, it was Tonali who got the...
Yeah, no, they both did. I think they'd had a little bit of a coming together, that's why.
Yeah, I thought it was Krunic though. Here is the corner in towards the near post. The header, the diving header was a good one by Cherby, but it was wide of the right hand upright. And then slightly aggressive from Mike Maignan behind the goal. There was, I think, there's a steward or a photographer or someone was just sitting behind the advertising hoardings, and he pushed her over to grab the ball. He's going to kick long here. 79 minutes on the clock. High into the evening sky. Flick on by Giroud. Not taken in by Origi. Away it goes. And AC Milan's worst nightmare would be to concede yet another goal on the break. They put the ball out of play. Brilliant work again by Lautaro Martinez. They love him here. He don't stop pressing. Doesn't stop harassing opponents. Gives you not a moment's peace. He's a real pest. And I'll tell you what, if there are big clubs in England looking for a striker in the summer, they could do worse than look towards Lautaro Martinez.
But that's all fans ask, isn't it? First and foremost, they will forgive any deficiencies, missing chances, as long as you work your socks off.
Look at Big
100%.
About Weghorst, he's a cult hero at Manchester United because of the way that he gives everything, leaves everything out on the field of play. Salamakis, right side, plays it against Robin Gers, the German international, who touches it out on this near side and away for a throw-in. 10 minutes to go before the end of the game. Inter 1, Milan 0. Live on Talksport 2 tonight. Elsewhere on Talksport this evening, Luke still in control of the game against Sunderland. They lead by 2-0 on the night, 3-2 on aggregate. It's 3-0 on aggregate in the San Siro. Çalhanoğlu has been fouled by Krunic, and it's a yellow card for him, and they want more than that. There's a bit of pushing and shoving going on, and now it's starting to flare up, as you might expect it would do in a hot derby like this. Krunic, who should have been sent off in the first leg, is being harassed and heckled by the Inter players, suggesting he should be sent off in the second.
It was Tomori getting involved after that, wasn't it? It's a foul. It's a foul, it's a booking. It's a touch late, simple as that. It's not as bad as everyone's making out. Tomori ran a good 30-40 yards to get involved in that, which sort of really kicks it off. I think, has he been booked for that? I think he has.
At this moment in time, I think Granic is...
Yeah, he did. I think Tomori might have been booked as well. I think the card is just saying to him, calm down, mate, 3-0 down.
Those two were teammates at Chelsea not so long ago. Fikayo Tomori has been booked. Confirmation of that has been given to us. He's the fourth player tonight to be booked for Milan. They've had more yellow cards than they've had shots on target. Inter 1, Milan 0. 3-0 on aggregate to Inter. 82 minutes gone. They promised a memorable night, but they have delivered something the Rossoneri fans will want to forget very quickly, I think. Ball kicked long, out towards the right side. Denzel Dumfries gets hold of it. Looks like Martinez has been booked as well. Ball played up to Lukaku, holds it up, tries to feed Çalhanoğlu, goes back to Maignan, who keeps it long and high into the air. Brought down by Giroud, holds it up well, tucks it to the far side, the left, but Origi picks it up now. He runs towards the edge of the Inter penalty area, gets to it, stops, back onto his right foot, arcs across into the box towards Giroud, headed down, Darmian will clear under pressure from Rafael Leao, and it's up towards Lautaro Martinez, and Tomori's allowed that to bounce, and Martinez is causing him trouble, did well enough to hold him off.
I actually think that the final would be harder for Inter to play against Real Madrid.
Do you?
there'll be a little bit more expectation to go and attack, to get forward, to have a little bit more of the ball. I think if they played Manchester City, they'll just go, we'll sit back and defend, and we'll play on the counter-attack, and we'll let Martinez and maybe Lukaku or Jack, whatever, do what they have to do up front. There's no expectation on us to go in attack or play in any other way apart from sit deep and be disruptive.
Lukaku over on the right-hand side, moves towards the edge of the box. Martinez tries to strike, he's blocked by Kalulu. And they got into a bit of a spaghetti leg tangle there, but the ball emerged from the penalty area and it was cleared away. Barella plays it against Salamakers. It's another throw-in deep inside Milan territory. There'll be another change here, but ultimately it's all too little too late now with 7 minutes to go.
Whereas I think if they get Real Madrid, there'll be a little bit of expectation that actually we need to go in and have a go at them at times and try and match up to them. I think for the way that City play, the way they dominate possession, Inter will be quite happy sitting back, playing on the counter, almost playing for penalties.
Lautaro Martinez waving to all four sides of the ground, knowing that his goal has clinched them a place in the Champions League final. Barella being replaced as well. 2 substitutions. And one of them is Correa, who is coming on. He's come on for Martinez. Throwing nudged in towards Correa. Away by Origi on the edge of the box. Ball is bouncing around the edge of the Milan penalty area. Krunic sends it wide to the left. It's not great control from Teo Hernandez, but he powers forward anyway. The other change, by the way, I think is Gagliardini. He's come on. And he's replaced Barella. Ball into the box then towards Giroud. Spills out to the far side after a challenge inside the area by Cherby. It's cleared upfield to Lukaku. Flicks it on, looking for Correa.
So it's a head injury, but the referee was having none of it.
Has he stopped it now? He has, yeah. Cherby's not happy at all. Gagliardini on for Nicolo Barella. He had a really good chance at the end of the first leg, actually. Gagliardini scored a goal since December 2021. He could have sealed a place in the final a week ago. And the head injury for Cherby was because of the sharpened elbow of Olivier Giroud.
Brushed his ear.
Listen, when you've got elbows that sharp, just the merest touch.
Well, from that really tough, rugged Italian defender.
Danny, it can't all be as hard as you.
But he is. He's harder than me, and he's gone down for that.
86.
I wasn't hard, I was just stupid. No sense, no feeling. There's a difference.
Into 1 Milan nil. The ball is on halfway. Çalhanoğlu has worked his socks off. Sends the ball forward. Milan beat Tottenham in the round of 16, but Spurs could have taken them down had they had any tactical discipline and desire. I think Napoli won the shot count 39-18 in the quarter-final. Somehow they managed it through to the semi-finals, but it's caught up with them now, Milan. Their season, which last season was absolutely terrific for them, this season has turned into a bit of a nightmare. And to lose for a 4th time in a row against your city rivals without scoring is quite embarrassing, really, for these two teams that are supposed to be level in terms of matching.
Yeah, it's been a collision. Tonali and Correa, was it? Sort of ran into each other.
Well, Inter inflicted the first defeat in 10 games last week. This is the 3rd defeat in 7 days since. Milan's season is crumbling. Inter have reached this stage for the first time since 2010 when they won the competition under Jose Mourinho. And they're coming forward again with Correa. Krunic just about stops him in his tracks before he can get over that halfway line.
Is that the only time they've won it, Sam?
No, they've won it previously, 64 and 65 under Argentine manager Elenio Herrera. But if Simone Inzaghi does lift the trophy, he will become the first Italian coach to lead Inter to glory in that competition. Here is Çalhanoğlu running through the middle of the park, being pursued by Salamakers. He has penalised Salamakers for his dogged, tenacious approach. It'll be a free kick. Jose Mourinho, the other one, who lifted this trophy with the Nerazzurri.
Italian manager for Inter, didn't he?
Italian manager for Inter, yeah. It's quite a famous guy called Carlo Ancelotti who's lifted it a few times.
I was just thinking, I'm sure AC Milan won it a few times. I'm sure they must have had an Italian manager at some point.
Yeah. An Italian manager who may well end up winning it this year as well with Real Madrid, of course. And Pep Guardiola might have something to say about that tomorrow. We're in the 88th minute of the game. And it's Inter 1, Milan 0, live on Talksport 2. Tomorrow night on Talksport 2, more Championship playoff action. Middlesbrough against Coventry. And then on Talksport we'll have that Madrid game from the Etihad. This has been a rather dismal performance from Milan. One that has not required too much in terms of effort from tonight's home team. Inter have just been tactically more astute, I think, and managed the game out.
And this is why I think Manchester City would be mentally easy for them, because they just like, you know what, we'll just sit back. We'll just sit in and it won't be a problem.
Ball into the box, it hits Giroud in the face, it's cleared away by Robin Gosens and out towards the far side. Don't you think that they'll take that same approach into the game against Real Madrid?
I just think playing against Real Madrid, there'll be a little bit more there'll probably be a little bit more belief that they could get at them. With the age in midfield that they've got, all those sorts of things. Maybe a little bit more expectancy to go and take the game a little bit more to Real Madrid than it would be if it's Manchester City.
Lukaku giving the ball well, gives it back to Gosens. And no need to panic now for Inter, who are just brushing the ball around inside their own half of the field. And Anna clips it high into the air out to the right side. Dumfries will bring it down into the centre circle, and Correa, who's being chased by Tomori, out wide to the far side. Brozovic, now with the captain's armband in the absence of Martinez, plays it down the right. Back into Dumfries, who's being pursued by Teo Hernandez. He's wrestled to the floor by Teo Hernandez, and that's definitely going to be a foul.
3 falls and a submission.
And he had his arms joined together in a stranglehold on Dumfries and then pulled him to the floor. Good job the referee did keep his yellow cards in his notebook in the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah,
since book 6.
Got a little bit out of hand, doesn't it, honestly?
Arno doing a little twirl inside the box before giving it to Brozovic. And the pitch has opened up for Inter once again. No need for them to rush the ball forward. 1-0 is the scoreline. Only had 42% of the ball, but they haven't needed it. Here they come, upfield with Robin Gosens, urged forward to get a clincher by their supporters who have stayed to cheer their team in their celebrations. Bastoni's delivery, punched away by Magnon. Picked up by Lukaku far side, being chased and watched by Tomori. Goes to go one way, then goes the other. He's tight to the touchline on the far side. And then it goes to Denzel Dumfries, who's crossed into the box, is held up by Gagliardini. He comes back to Correa, onto Lukaku, inside the box, left footed, stopped by the goalkeeper, comes back to Lukaku again. He clips it towards the edge of the area. Bastoni with an effort on the volley, which he caught well, but had very little control over. And it goes behind and away for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's going to be a fabulous night for those Inter Milan fans, isn't it? They're absolutely delighted. They are the home team this evening. 3/4 of the stadium in black and blue. They'll be the ones celebrating long into the night.
Just 90 seconds to go before they can start with those fireworks, start those standing ovations, start that... well, how long will they be spending, do you think, rubbing it into those in their families, their friendship groups, their factories and offices tomorrow, who are of Rossinieri and persuasion?
Until they get beaten by AC Milan.
Yeah, the biggest game in 2 decades has been bossed, controlled and won by Inter. The WhatsApp groups with mixed fandom will be put on mute tonight, I think, by those of a Milan persuasion. They do have a late corner in the game. There's just seconds remaining in injury time. It's towards the near post, away by Lukaku this time. Headed up towards halfway. Tomori kicks it straight out of play. Swipes it wildly. And that sort of sums up his two legs. He looks absolutely cream-crackered. He looks done. The game is done. Internazionale of Milan are going to the Champions League final in Istanbul after a tremendous first leg. They have backed it up with a display of control and certainty in the second leg. It's the first time they've reached the final since 2010 when they lifted it under Jose Mourinho, and now it's a chance for Simone Inzaghi to join him as an Inter immortal. Lautaro Martinez scored the only goal of the second leg to give Inter the victory. Milan, in truth, offered very, very little. It was a insipid Milan display, a team that needed 2 goals and didn't even manage 2 shots on target. Inter 1, Milan 0 at full time.